Hi friends, this is Shiv Mandir at Bhojpur. Look at the massive lingam and equally massive pillars. A gigantic structure indeed. It's the top of a hillock and the frontal view is equally imposing. The shrine seems to be presiding over a vast area of human habitation. Om Namah Shivaya. Here stands an incomplete yet highly magnificent Bhojeshwar temple at an elevated rocky hillock that dates back to the 11th century. Both the place and the temple alike get their name from the famous Paramar king Bhojraj, circa 1005 to 1055, who ruled over this region. The temple, even though it is incompletely built, bears testimony as to how grand and big it would have looked had it been completed. The temple has been designated as a monument of national importance by the Archaeological Survey of India. In 2006 and 7, ASI carried out extensive restoration of this monument. The temple structure is supported by 4 massive stone pillars carved out of a single stone, out of which one missing pillar was added afresh that weighed 12 tons. The temple lies on a platform 115 feet long, 82 feet wide, and 13 feet high. The temple houses one of the largest Shivalingas in the world, 18 feet tall and 7.5 feet in circumference, which is taller than the one in Brihadeshwara temple in Tanjavur in South India. The doorway to the sanctum is 33 feet high. The wall at the entrance features sculptures of Apsaras, Ganas, that is, attendants of Shiva, and river goddesses Ganga and Yamuna. The temple walls are plain and are windowless and are made of large sandstone blocks. Government of Madhya Pradesh holds Bhojpur Utsav annually around Mahashivaratri, which attracts a large number of devotees and tourists.
ये वराह इनकारनेशन नंबर 3 की कहानी है। फर्स्ट की कहानी मत्स्य अवतार, और सेकंड की कहानी अमृत मंथन के समय कश्यप अवतार। और ये कहलाई स्टोरी हिरण्यकश्यप एंड हिरण्याक्ष। हिरण्याक्ष और हिरण्यकश्यप दोनों भाई थे, ये दोनों जो है ना राक्षस। तो यहाँ पृथ्वी भूदेवी, कहाँ है भूदेवी? ये जो फिगर ऑफ द एक इंसान के रूप में, एक फीमेल, एक महिला के रूप में है, देख रहे हैं आप? ये है पृथ्वी। और पृथ्वी को कहाँ लेके गया वो राक्षस? वाटर के अंदर। वाटर कहाँ है? वो सामने पॉन्ड। वो पॉन्ड देख रहे हैं आप वहां पे? ये पॉन्ड का कनेक्शन यहाँ तक था, वाटर यहाँ तक था, क्योंकि पहले रोड और वॉल नहीं थी। ये सीधा वाटर यहाँ तक आए।
The famous Udayagiri caves, with its 20 rock-cut caves, date back to the early years of the 5th century CE. They contain some of the oldest surviving Hindu temples and iconography in India. They are the only site that can be verifiably associated with the mighty Gupta ruler Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya, 375 to 414 AD, from the inscriptions found in these caves. It is suggested that the artisans began work at Udayagiri under the patronage of Chandragupta II, and these cave temples were consecrated in 401 CE to be precise. Udayagiri quite literally means sunrise hill. It is also known as Vishnupadagiri, meaning the feet of Vishnu. The history and architecture of Udayagiri caves in Madhya Pradesh are really fascinating. The caves are invaluable as they are proof in stone of the religion and culture dating back to the 4th and 5th centuries to the Gupta period. The most prominent among the caves is cave number 5, which is famous for the ancient monumental statue of Lord Vishnu in his incarnation as the boar-headed Varaha, rescuing Bhudevi, goddess Earth. The magnificent sculpture of Varaha is described as the iconographic centerpiece of Udayagiri. The mythological story reads thus: Hiranyaksha, a terrible and oppressive demon, abducts Bhudevi, the goddess of earth, and hides her in the depths of the ocean. Lord Vishnu comes to the rescue of Bhudevi as Varaha, the boar, the third of the 10 avatars or incarnations of Lord Vishnu. He dives into the ocean and finds Bhudevi, who clings on to his tusk, and Vishnu, in the form of the boar, lifts her to safety. No doubt, the massive, sinuous, and fierce-looking sculpture of Varaha is the main part of the panel. And the other details are interesting too. Sitting on a lotus, very near the snout of Varaha, can be seen a small image of Brahma, the god of creation. Not far from Brahma can be seen a miniature image of Shiva, seated on his Nandi. The panels to the right of the main sculpture of Varaha contain images of 12 Adityas, the 8 Vasus, and 11 Rudras, and Agni, the god of fire, along with Vayu, the god of the wind. A row of sages and other ascetics can also be seen towards the right of Varaha. The goddess Lakshmi can be seen near the foot of Varaha on one side, while the other side is the image of a Nagadeva. But what is really fascinating is the presence of smaller images near the foot of Varaha that depict Emperor Chandragupta II himself, as well as his minister by the name Veerasena. Elsewhere, above the shoulder of Varaha, can be seen the images of sage Narada and sage Tambura. I'll play the video again. Please carefully watch these details. Thank you. This cave number 6 was excavated in honor of Lord Shiva. Presently, in the Panipita, an unfinished linga is erected, which cannot be seen because it is within the enclosure. On the outer wall of this cave, there is a beautiful depiction of Mahishasura Mardini, that is, goddess Durga slaying the bull demon. This is one of the earliest representations of Mahishasura Mardini. The niche, small open cave in front of this cave number 6 is bearing broken images of Matrikas or mother goddesses. The figure of Ganesha on the left side of the outer wall is also considered as one of the earliest images of Lord Ganesha. There is an inscription which mentions about the visit of Chandragupta II to Udayagiri on his way to conquer the world. This is the only written record where the visit of the Gupta emperor is supported by evidence. Local people call this cave number 7 Tawa Cave, as it is crowned by a large flat stone resembling a gigantic tawa. This cave number 3 is dedicated to Kartikeya, the son of Lord Shiva. The enshrined deity is considered as the most beautiful image of the 5th century CE. The deity is in standing pose, holding a spear in his right hand, while the left hand is resting close to the waist portion. The hair of Kartikeya is shown in 3 strands. Unfortunately, the idol cannot be seen as it is within the enclosures. Cave number 13 has a 12 feet long massive sculpture of a sleeping Vishnu in the classic Sheshashayi or Anantashayana position. Vishnu can be seen lying on the coil of a primordial snake, Adishesha, with his vehicle Garuda in attendance. His head is resting on the palm of one of his 4 hands. At the feet of Vishnu can be seen the figures of 2 men prostrating respectfully. It is believed that these are probably the images of Chandragupta II and his minister Veerasena. This Vishnu image is one of the earliest known sculptures of Vishnu in this posture. This cave number 12 is a small niche which houses the image of a standing Vishnu in the form of the Narasimha avatar. Vishnu is seen as a half man and half lion. This again is the earliest known depiction of the Narasimha incarnation of Vishnu. Just below the niche can be seen the 2 Dwarapalakas or the gatekeepers of Vishnu, Jaya and Vijaya. Good evening, friends. This is the street leading to Mamaleshwar temple on this side of the Narmada river.
ನಾವು ಹೀಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೀಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾ?
Good evening, friends. This is a view of Omkareshwar and Mamaleshwar temple from our hotel room temple view. We can see the reflection of the temple on the waters of the river Narmada. And at the farther end, you can see a dam across the river Narmada. a bridge across the river Narmada. Hello, good morning friends. This is the view of river Narmada from our hotel temple view. You can also see here Omkareshwar temple. There is a bridge across the river Narmada. The early morning view. What a serene view. Fantastic. Can you see what is written there? Om. All our famous temples are situated on the banks of great rivers. And the further end, what you can see is a dam across the river Narmada. Hope you enjoyed this view. Thank you. द्वादश ज्योतिर्लिंगस्तोत्रम् सौराष्ट्रे सोमनाथञ्च श्रीशैले मल्लिकार्जुनम् उज्जयिन्यां महाकालम् ओङ्कारं ममलेश्वरम् परल्या वैद्यनाथञ्च डाकिन्यां भीमशङ्करम् सेतुबन्धे तु रामेशं नागेशं दारुकावने वाराणस्यां तु विश्वेशं त्रयम्बकं गौतमीतटे हिमालये तु केदारं ग्रीष्मेशं तु शिवालये एतानि ज्योतिर्लिङ्गानि सायं प्रातः पठेन्नरः सप्तजन्मं कृतं पापं स्मरणेन विनश्यति. Our group members at Indore Airport. The signboard claims that this is Vishwa ka sabse bada Shani Navagrah Mandir, located at Bai Gram, bridge across the Narmada River. The dam across the Narmada River. This is the view of the Mamaleshwar and Omkareshwar temple at night. Mamaleshwar temple is located on Om-shaped island of Mandhata or Shivapuri on the bank of river Narmada in Khandwa district of Madhya Pradesh. It is learnt that the wall of the temple contains the inscription of Mahima Stotra dated 1063 AD. Both Omkareshwar and Mamaleshwar are the form of the same Jyotirlinga. Mamaleshwar Jyotirlinga is on the south bank of the Narmada and Omkareshwar sits on the Omkar Parvat towards the north bank of Narmada. Omkareshwar temple has a grand Sabha Mandap standing on about 14 feet high, 60 huge, elaborately carved brown stone pillars.
Om Jai Shiv Omkareshwar. Om Jai Shiv Omkareshwar. Om Jai Shiv Omkareshwar. Om Jai Shiv Omkareshwar. Mahadev Jai Nageshwar.
Mahakaleshwar is one of the prime 12 Jyotirlingas, and the temple is situated in the ancient city of Ujjain on the side of the holy river Shipra. This ancient temple complex was destroyed by Sultan Shamsuddin Iltutmish during his raid of Ujjain in circa 1234-35. The present structure was built by the Maratha general Ranoji Shinde in 1734 CE. Further developments were done by other members of the Shinde or Sindhya dynasty, including Mahadaji Shinde and Baijabai, wife of Daulat Rao Shinde. The present temple is a 5-story structure and was constructed midway during the 18th century. The temple architecture is a seamless blend of Bhumija, Maratha and Chalukya styles. The lingam of Mahakaleshwar, quite literally the presiding deity of time, is situated on the ground floor and is facing the south direction, so it is called Dakshinamukhi. This Nagachandreshwara temple is located on the 3rd floor of Mahakala temple. The speciality of this Nagachandreshwara temple is that it opens only on one day in a year, that is on the day of Nagapanchami. Located on the banks of the Shipra river, this temple is dedicated to Kal Bhairav, the guardian deity of the city. The present day temple structure was built over the remains of an older temple. The temple structure shows Maratha influence. The worship of Ashtabhairava, 8 Bhairavas, is a part of the Shaivite tradition, and the Kal Bhairav is considered their chief. The worship of Kal Bhairav was traditionally popular among the Kapalika and Aghora sects, and Ujjain was a prominent center of these sects. In Shaivism, Kal Bhairav is a fierce manifestation of Shiva associated with annihilation. In Trika system or Kashmir Shaivism, Bhairava represents supreme reality, synonymous to Parabrahman. Generally, in Hinduism, Bhairava is also called Dandapani, he who holds the danda or the rod in his hand to punish sinners, and his vehicle is a dog. In Vajrayana Buddhism, Bhairava is considered a fierce emanation of Bodhisattva Manjushri and also called Heruka, Vajra Bhairava and Yamantaka. He is worshipped throughout India, Nepal and Sri Lanka as well as in Tibetan Buddhism. Tamil Nadu has the largest number of Kala Bhairava temples in India. Liquor is offered to the temple deity, that is Kala Bhairava, as one of the 5 tantric ritual offerings known as Panchamakara. The 5 M's: Madhya, alcohol; Mamsa, meat; Meena or Matsya, fish; Mudra, gesture or parched grain; and Maithuna, sexual intercourse. In older times, all 5 offerings were made to the deity, but now only alcohol is offered. The other 4 offerings are in the form of symbolic rituals only. We saw many shops selling liquors of many popular brands, which the devotees take to the temple and hand over to the priest, who pours a part of it into a big vessel and returns the rest as prasadam. Bhartrhari Gufa or caves, located on the bank of river Shipra, is barely 2 kilometers from Kal Bhairav temple. It is believed that the great poet and scholar of the ancient times, King Bhartrhari, after the death of his wife, denounced the worldly life and became a hermit under the tutelage of Mahayogi Gorakshanath ji and meditated in this cave for 12 long years. Bhartrhari is acclaimed for 2 of his major works, Vakyapadiya, a text on grammar and linguistics, and Shatakatraya, a work of Sanskrit poetry comprising 3 collections, Shringara Shataka, Niti Shataka, and Vairagya Shataka, of about 100 stanzas each. The Bhartrhari caves are rock cut, and some of them have very narrow passage leading to underground cellar. Since these caves are under the management of the yogis of the Nath tradition, at the entrance itself we can see the dhuni, a fireplace with ashes and tridents, which are integral to the Natha sadhu's daily sadhana. On the exterior steps leading to the caves, the devotees are requested to feed the cows as part of charity. Well, I am not sure whether punya is earned or not. One thing is certain: the owner's cows and cows are fed at a devotee's cost in the name of charity.
गौदान महादान गौ माता की सेवा सबसे बड़ी सेवा गौ माता मुचारा खिलाइए 20 का 1 गौदान महादान गौ माता की सेवा सबसे बड़ी सेवा गौ माता मुचारा खिलाइए 20 का 1 गौदान महादान गौ माता की सेवा सबसे बड़ी सेवा गौ माता मुचारा खिलाइए 20 का 1 गौदान महादान गौ माता की सेवा सबसे बड़ी सेवा गौ माता मुचारा खिलाइए 20 का 1 गौदान महादान गौ माता की सेवा सबसे बड़ी सेवा गौ माता मुचारा खिलाइए 20 का 1 गौदान महादान गौ माता की सेवा सबसे बड़ी सेवा गौ माता मुचारा खिलाइए 20 का 1
Gadkalika Mata Mandir, a sacred Hindu temple in Ujjain, is situated near the Bhartrhari caves. Due to its location near the village of Gad, this temple got the name of Gadkalika Mandir. This is an ancient shrine dedicated to goddess Kali. Popularly called Ujjain Mahakali, this temple is one of the 18 prominent Shaktipitas. The Gadkalika temple holds tremendous religious significance, especially as it is believed to be the place where the great Sanskrit poet and playwright Kalidasa, originally an uneducated villager, worshipped Ma Gadkalika and gained unparalleled literary skills. On observing closely the idol of Ma Kali, you can see the following Chamunda mantra written across the sanctum sanctorum, which is believed to have highly beneficial spiritual powers. The Chamunda mantra reads like this: Om Aim Hreem Kleem Chamundayai Vichai. The Chamunda mantra consists of the Bija mantra, or the seed syllable of the three goddesses Mahasaraswati, Mahalakshmi, and Mahakali. This is the most powerful Navakshari mantra, or mantra having 9 syllables, invoking the three goddesses simultaneously, whose combined manifestation is perceived in the form of goddess Chamunda for gaining knowledge, wealth, and power over evil. This is believed to be the core mantra in tantric practices for appeasing goddess Kali. Har Siddhi Mata Mandir is another important landmark of Ujjain, and it is one of the 51 major Shakti Pitas. The presiding deity, Har Siddhi Mata, is painted in dark vermilion color in the center of a very large temple complex with idols of Mahasaraswati and Mahalakshmi beside it. The presence of mystical Sri Yantra or Sri Chakra, which represents 9 forms of Durga, is one of the characteristic features of this temple. Sri Chakra, a mystical diagram drawn on a composed of 9 intersecting triangles, is used in Sri Vidya Upasana, a tantric ritualistic worship of the divine goddess as Lalita Tripura Sundari, beautiful goddess of the 3 worlds. According to legend, it is said that great king Vikramaditya, the emperor of Ujjain, who was known for his intellect, valor and nobleness, used to worship Devi Harasiddhi Mata and dedicated his head around 11 times at the feet of Mata Harasiddhi, but the Divine Mother again brought him back to life. The temple was built during the Maratha period and has 2 towering Deepastambhas, stone lamp posts, with 1001 wicks that are lit up every evening at 7:30, which is a sight to behold, as you have watched it in the video. Ram Ghat is located at a walking distance from the Mahakala temple and the Harasiddhi Mata Mandir. It is said that Sri Rama himself performed his father Dasharatha's last rites at Ujjain, and therefore this place where the ritual took place is called Ram Ghat. The Shahi Snan, or the holy bath, by saints and sadhus during the Kumbh Mela takes place on this Ram Ghat.
This is the Vishnu temple near Gwalior Fort, built in the 11th century. Now it's not in use, but look at the grandeur of the sandstone architecture that you see here. So splendid, So exquisite and so exclusive, I must say. And attention to details. But time plays havoc on anything in nature, and nothing is permanent, is echoed here. Look at it. Look at the massive stone structure. So beautiful. And that temple that you see from here is called the Shiva temple. And you can see a panoramic view of the city of Gwalior. It is so huge, so intricately carved. Wow. Look at the design on these pillars and the carvings. Each one of it tells many stories. Yeah. The design is so, I should say, deceptive in the sense that it appears to be carved out of wood, but far from it. These are the designs carved on sandstones. Look at the carvings on the ceilings. One last view of the temple. These twin temples within the Gwalior fort are called Sas Bahu temple. The temple was built in 1093 AD by King Mahipala of the Kachaga Phagata dynasty, according to an inscription found in the larger of the twin temples. A popular legend suggests that Kachapagata's wife used to worship Lord Vishnu, but when her son got married, his wife worshipped Lord Shiva. Thus, another temple was built where the king's daughter-in-law offered homage to Lord Shiva. Hence the name Sas Bahu temple, which means the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law's temple. The Sas temple is typically the larger, older temple of the twins, but both temples are dedicated to Lord Vishnu. There is another version which says that originally the temple was called Sahasrabahu, meaning one with 1,000 arms, which eventually came to be known as Sasbahu. Sahasrabahu became Sasbahu. Whichever way we look at it, the grandeur of the temples is simply superb. The bigger temple's platform is 100 feet long and 63 feet wide. The temple's main entrance porch has 4 carved Ruchaka Ghatapallava style pillars that are load bearing. The walls and lintels are intricately carved, though much defaced now. Episodes of Krishna Leela are carved on the lintel of the entrances from inside, while the outer side narrate legends from other Hindu texts. Above the lintel is Garuda, the vehicle of Vishnu. The entire temple is covered with carvings, and idols of Brahma, Vishnu and Saraswati are etched above its entrance door. The carvings on the pillars are related to Vaishnavism, Shaivism and Shaktism. Telika Mandir literally means oil man's temple, located within the Gwalior fort. How this temple got its name is not very clear. Local folklore states that the temple was built by oil merchant caste rather than kings or the priestly class. According to another legend, Rashtrakuta Govinda III seized the Gwalior fort in circa 794. He handed over the religious ceremonies and rituals to Telang Brahmins, and as a result of this, the temple acquired its name. Dedicated to Shiva, Vishnu and Matrikas, this temple has been variously dated between the early 8th and the early 9th century CE based on architectural design and inscriptions found within the temple premises. Telika Mandir has an atypical design for a Hindu temple, as it has a rectangular sanctum instead of the typical square. It integrates the architectural elements of the Nagara style and the Vallabhi Shikara that looks like the Dravidian Gopuram superstructure, and thus represents the fusion of both the North and South India's architectural styles. Unlike other temples, Telika Mandir doesn't have any mantapa or pillared hall. The temple's outer walls have been extensively carved. One can trace figures of amorous couples, coiled serpents, gods and goddesses on the doorway. The figure of flying Garuda, the vehicle of Vishnu, is carved about a 35 feet high doorway. Inside, there is another doorway above which is an image of Lord Ganesha. Rising to a height of 100 feet, Telika Mandir is the tallest and most stunning temple in the confines of the Gwalior fort. The temple is approached through a flight of stairs. The circumambulatory path of the temple has 4 entrances, one from each cardinal direction, which a devotee can use to enter the temple. There is a Nandi and Lingam inside the sanctum. The temple has icons and inscriptions related to all 3 major traditions of Hinduism: Shaivism, Vaishnavism and Shaktism. One of the inscriptions, for example, is a metrical hymn about Durga, which points to a Shakta tradition. The temple shows signs of extensive damage